morning and welcome to the Splash Live, Greater West Bloomfield's only local morning show, giving you exclusive access into people, businesses, and events in our community. We're bringing you this show live daily weekdays at 9:30 a.m. with your host, me, Maddie Muschin. Before we dive into today's show, every week we highlight someone here on the Splash Live, an educator, student, business, or organization from our Greater West Bloomfield community, going above and beyond. If you would like to submit an entry for someone, you can scan the QR code on the screen and fill out the short Google form with the person's name, their contact information, and reasons why you think they should be recognized here on the Splash Live for our Person of the Week. Now let's go check out what's going on in our Greater West Bloomfield community. The first event we want to look at is the West Bloomfield Township virtual events. The West Bloomfield Township Public Library are hosting a ton of fun and educational events for residents of West Bloomfield in all age groups. Although the events for this week have concluded, you can start registering for some of their great events that they're having next week. On Monday, they are having their Booked for the Evening event, where they will look at Everything Under by Daisy Johnson as part of their mythical retellings for the modern age. On Tuesday, they are having their very popular Reader's Choice book discussion, where you can come and discuss what you're currently reading with your West Bloomfield residents. If you've ever been to a book club before, this is a little bit different because you get to bring the book that you are currently reading and like. Here you'll be able to talk about the book that you're reading and get recommendations from others in a fun conversation led throughout the library. For all these events and other events at the library, you can register on their website at westbloomfieldlibrary.org. Something else that is also ongoing at the library is your ability to rent out those great literacy and tender topic kits to help your child with their literacy skills and ways to learn about tough topics that are happening in our community. If you're interested in renting out one of those tender topic kits or literacy kits, you can do so by stopping into the West Bloomfield Township Public Library, or you can call the Youth Services Desk to reserve a kit of your choice. The next event we want to look at is the Sylvan Lake Garden event. On Thursday, April 21st, the Sylvan Lake Garden Club invites you to an evening of learning of how to use native Michigan plants to support the declining pollinator populations and create healthy yards, trails, and lakes, as well as minimizing rain runoff and flooding. This event will be led by Erica Kleitz, the director of the Oakland County Cooperative Invasive Species Management at the Six Rivers Land Conservancy. There will be a social time starting at 6:30 p.m. and the presentation for this event will start promptly at 7 p.m. This event will be held at the Sylvan Lake Community Center. For any of events, if you are interested in registering for this, you can contact the Sylvan Lake City Council to register for this great event that they are hosting. If you have an event that you would like us to feature here on the Splash Live, you can send us a message on our social media pages at Civic Center TV and on Facebook at Civic Center TV 15. Coming up, I'll be talking with Suzanne Levine, the Executive Director for the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce. But before that, I got to go visit a very cool boutique consignment shop here in Keego Harbor that is bringing the retro feel of the 50s and 60s to our Greater West Bloomfield community. Lay Shop 2, located off of Orchard Lake Road, has 3 floors of art furniture that you can check out at their showcase. Let's go take a look now inside Lay Shop 2. If you're a fan of fine art or vintage furniture, Lay Shop 2 in Keego Harbor is a place that you must visit for all of your needs. We talked to Terry Stern and Tristan Maltby of Lay Shop 2 about their auction house and some of the cool items that they have in store.
The background on the store is that our 2 owners, Julie and Deborah, decided to open a consignment store with literally no experience in any retail, and it was just such a great concept that it really blew up. And they started with the 2 of them. I think we have almost 10 or 12 employees even now, and they started with clothing, doing vintage clothing, and they found that they would take a piece here or there from a home and started selling the furniture, and it just turned into this 18,000 square foot warehouse now.
So our auctions are all online for the most part, and we specialize in furniture, fine art, lighting, these huge art pieces like this mural that we're standing behind by Tristan Eaton. Mid-century modern furniture. We had a really rare 1950s Eames cabinet that broke an auction record. It sold for $48,000, and then plus the buyer's premium. So that was really exciting. And so yeah, we do quarterly auctions. So we have auctions every 3 months about. So our next one we're gearing up for the middle to the end of summer.
We are a one-stop shop, so we do the appraisals. So we have clients that come out and want to know the value, so they're moving and they need their artwork appraised so that it can be shipped. They want to know the value so they can sell pieces. So we come in, we do appraisals for the clients, help them with if they want to sell the pieces, if we can do an estate sale for them. I have the highest accreditation in the country. There's about 800 appraisers. I'd say 400 of them are in New York, so there's only a few of us in this area that can actually do donations. I do volunteer work for the DIA. I do their donation appraisals. So when a client gives a big donation, they don't have to pay to have the appraisal done.
Definitely come visit our showroom. We're open 5 days a week, Tuesday through Saturday, 12 to 5. And something that that we just opened is Le Shop Remix, which has almost our clearance items there, but also some really fun finds.
It's pretty much 75% off.
Yeah.
What we do to change the inventory is after 3-6 months, if it's not sold, we lower the price and then we move it over to Remix. So it's a great opportunity. We like to call it Le Shop for All because it's very affordable and everybody can, like you were saying, college graduates can come in and buy a gorgeous couch. You know, the furniture from the past was way better put together than it is today from like IKEA or Target. Not dissing those companies, but you know, we have bedroom sets that are older than most of us that are working here, and
it might just need a little bit of love or reupholstering and things like that, and just a new life. That's what we love, like for these furniture pieces and art pieces, to have a new life and a new home.
If you're looking to get your piece of art appraised or want to visit their upscale mid-century modern retail showroom, make sure to check out Le Shop 2 in Keego Harbor. Reporting for The Splash Live, I'm Maddie Mustian.
Thank you again to Terry and Trista for giving us some more information on Le Shop 2 and how they're reinventing art appraising and consignment in our area. You make sure to follow them on their social media pages, as well as follow their website to stay up to date on their items and the auctions that they have coming up. Later on, we'll be taking a look at our Person of the Week, who is impacting her students in the vocal arts and theater programs at West Bloomfield High School. But before that, I'll be talking with Suzanne Levine, the Executive Director for the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce. All that and more after this short break.
We'll be right back with The Splash Live.
In the face of COVID-19, staying healthy is important. And now the same is true as we face the flu. Influenza has the potential to infect millions, putting lives and the healthcare system at risk. Fortunately, it's easy to protect yourself. The flu vaccine is safe and effective, and with COVID-19 still spreading, it's essential. To see how you can hit this virus head on, visit michigan.gov/flu.
Can I ask you a question? Why do you want to get the COVID-19 vaccine?
I don't like getting sick. The virus will die. It will be easy to not catch it. Keep my family safe and keep playing soccer. Because I love being vaccinated.
What's your hope for everyone?
I hope everybody gets the vaccine to keep safe and strong. Be like happy, having fun everywhere. Everyone stay safe and hope you get the vaccine.
And now, back to The Splash Live.
Welcome back to The Splash Live. I'm your host, Maddie Mustian. Joining us now to talk about the best networking practices and tips to make sure that you're making a good first impression with new business people that you've met is Suzanne Levine, Executive Director for the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce. Suzanne, thank you so much for joining us again today.
Thank you for having me once again.
So Suzanne, as you have been a business matchmaker and a networking guru for the past few years, can you tell us a little bit about the mistakes that you see people making when they're networking or promoting their businesses?
Well, I think the most important thing to remember is there's no second chance for a first impression. Unfortunately, when people meet you, they kind of size you up and they decide whether they can trust you. Sometimes people think that they can oversell themselves, and I think that's a mistake. One of the things that I've noticed is that when people are in a large group, they either tend to like hide in a corner or they tend to be so aggressive and all they do is talk about themselves. So I think one of the most important things you can do when you meet someone new is to ask them about their business, because people always like to talk about themselves.
And Suzanne, when you talk about promoting the mission of someone's business and going to those networking events and asking those questions about other people's businesses and getting some more information, do you have any tips for business owners making sure that they're promoting the message that they want to get out and the mission of their business?
Yes, I think that they should practice their kind of 30-second pitch. In Hollywood, we know that they have like 30 seconds to kind of pitch what their idea is. And it's sort of the same thing about your business. So make sure you understand what your mission is and how your business is unique. I think eye contact is extremely important. It gives people the impression that you are trustworthy. You need to look them in the eyes. I know that, because of the pandemic and masks, it's been a lot more difficult to really, get to know people. But, and it used to be a firm handshake, but now, we're trying to find other ways of, greeting people. So really the eye contact is important. Make sure you have business cards and make sure that you, as I say, you understand the mission and vision of your business so that you're promoting it in a correct way, but rehearse it, whether you have to record it, whether you pitch in front of your family and friends or other people that you work with so that you're getting your correct message across.
And Suzanne, when we are talking about networking again in person, some people might not have done it for the past 2 years. Can you talk a little bit about some advice for people that are looking to get back into the networking in person and some of the things that they need to make sure they do with following up and getting that relationship to kind of bloom in the industry?
Absolutely. I always tell our chamber members that I'm here to strategize with them. So if they don't have a clear understanding of what the message should be, they can pitch it to me and I can help refine it. But I think the most important thing is many times, especially during the pandemic, I would connect people via email and then they wouldn't follow up. And I don't understand that. All they have to do is say, thank you, Suzanne, for connecting me. Hi, Barbara. I would love to learn more about your business and how we can collaborate. It's just a couple sentences to show that you are truly interested. It's a warm introduction. And when people don't follow through and then they come to me and say, well, so-and-so didn't contact me, it's like, but you're the one that wants to do business with them. They don't know anything about you. So I think it's really important. And after you do meet someone, you can Google their business, find out what they're about. It's so much easier today. Back in the day, you would have to go to a library to try to do this research and maybe, read 3 or 4 different books, make phone calls. All you have to do is go to, hey Siri, hey Google, find out about their business. It's the easiest thing that you can possibly do.
And Suzanne, when you're going and looking at these businesses,
I found this on the web for you to find out about their business.
Your Google's going off now.
Well, there she is.
She's listening. She's listening. Suzanne, when you go and look at these businesses, if you're looking to network with somebody, can you talk a little bit about how businesses can get their website and make sure that they have all the information for people that are looking and researching their business?
Yes, it's so easy. I mean, first of all you have to do is obviously go on the website, contact me if you're interested in learning about someone that might be a good partner or help me strategize with you that might be a good partner. I know a lot of the new assisted and independent living places are looking to connect with real estate agents. That's like a perfect, connection. Or maybe the home health care workers want to meet with them. So these are really great connections that I can help facilitate. We have our Cup of Connections that we have initiated. We had a hiatus, and now we're doing it at local businesses. So please feel free to attend. It's open to all chamber members, and we're allowing non-chamber members for a small nominal fee to attend one to see what we're about. And one of the things that I make sure we do is we get in a big circle and everyone gets their 30 seconds to pitch their business and make sure that they exchange business cards. So make sure you have a business card. That's so important. And again, if people are hiding in a corner, I will kind of grab them by the arm, and I'm their mother, and I'll nag them and I'll make sure that they make these, introductions, because nothing's going to replace this one-on-one connection. And I keep nagging people, but I keep telling them, and it's very true, health and money are trust issues. You're never going to be able to, no matter how many brochures you send out, really get people to give you their money or trust them with your health. So these are issues that you really need to make these connections so that people get to know you and they trust you with their money or their health.
And Suzanne, if there is a viewer watching who wants to get involved in the chamber and maybe would like to host one of those Cup of Connections at their business once they are a chamber member, can you give us some information on how they can reach out and get more information on the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce?
Absolutely. They can contact me at wbloomfieldchamber@gmail.com. Go to our website at westbloomfieldchamber.com. And learn more about us, or call me at 248-626-3636. And I'm sure if they ask Siri or Google, which I won't do right now, they can get information about our chamber as well and how to get involved. And I'm always excited to make new connections for people because, as I always say, it's not who you know, it's who knows you.
Well, Suzanne, it's such a pleasure seeing you on Friday mornings. Thank you so much again for joining us and giving us some great information for our business owners here in Greater West Bloomfield.
And thank you everyone who are celebrating 3 of the holidays, Passover, Easter, and Ramadan. We wish you a safe and healthy, peaceful holiday, and hope to see you all again soon.
Thank you, Suzanne.
Thanks.
Once again, I was joined by the Executive Director for the Greater West Bloomfield Chamber of Commerce, Suzanne Levine, talking about some of those important tips for networking in our community. Our person of the week this week is someone who is impacting her students through showing them the passion for theater and the fine arts. Cheryl Hauk, the Fine Arts Coordinator for the West Bloomfield School District, has gone above and beyond to make sure that her students are pushed to be the best version of themselves on and off the stage. Let's go check out why we named Cheryl Hauk our person of the week.
Our person of the week this week is someone who has inspired her students to be who they are and strive to be their best selves on the big stage. Cheryl Hauk, the Fine Arts Coordinator for the West Bloomfield School District, is our person of the week this week because of her passion for teaching her students the art of theater and music. Cheryl has been the Fine Arts Coordinator in the district since 2015 and has been involved in the district's vocal arts program for over 17 years. During her time in the district, she has worked with her students in the fall plays and spring musicals and worked with Lakers Express throughout the year. This year, 6 of Cheryl's 16 choir students competed at the Michigan Music Conference All-State Tournament and got to represent WB and the choir program. During her interview on the Splash Live, she got a little emotional when thinking about all the work her students have put into their work over the past year.
Makes me very proud. We have an incredible community and school district, and they support our kids through all of this. And when we as the teachers are able to send kids to represent us, and in my situation as the choir teacher, 6 of the 16, it just says to everyone, this is not just about these kids, it's about our community. And I'm very proud of that. And so I feel a little bit emotional about talking about it.
Recently, Cheryl has been working on the West Bloomfield High School's production of Big Fish for the spring musical, and even brought in Bobby Steggert, who was in the original production of Broadway, to talk to the kids about what the musical means. Cheryl's love for her work and the students shows through the time that she dedicates to her classes and extracurricular clubs. Her passion for teaching and inspiring her students is why we named Cheryl Hauk our Person of the Week.
Thank you to Cheryl for all the work that she does in the school district to promote the fine arts. And if you're interested in seeing the West Bloomfield High School production of Big Fish, you can get tickets through the school by contacting West Bloomfield High School, as Big Fish will be in production April 28th through the 30th. We're going to take a short break here on the Splash Live, but when we get back, I'll be talking with Rochelle Riley, the Director of Arts and Culture for the City of Detroit. So don't go anywhere. We'll be right back with Rochelle after this break.
We'll be right back with the Splash Live.
This message brought to you by FEMA. Home fires occur most often in winter. Keep anything that can catch fire at least 3 feet from heating equipment. And never use an oven to heat your home. Stay in the kitchen when frying, grilling, or broiling food. Turn space heaters off when you leave the room or go to bed. Make sure all vents are clear of snow and ice to allow carbon monoxide to vent outside. Have your furnace, heating system, and chimneys serviced each year by a qualified professional. Learn more at www.usfa.fema.gov.
11 teens a day die from texting and driving. Don't text and drive.
And now, back to The Splash, live.
Welcome back to The Splash Live. I'm your host, Maddie Muschen. We're now going to be taking a look at one of the interviews that we had this past week with Nicole Ferguson, who was talking to us a little bit about Autism Awareness Month and how it has impacted her life, and a little bit about what she does with those kids who are impacted by autism and diagnosed with autism early on. She is a yoga instructor through the Jewish Family Services and talks to us a little bit about some of the programs that she works with and how autism impacts her life and her family. Let's go check it out. April is World Autism Month, which aims to inspire conversations about autism and teach others how they can help with people with autism reach their full potential through inclusion and kindness. Joining us now to talk about Autism Awareness Month and how she is impacted by it is Nicole Ferguson. Nicole, thank you so much for joining us again today.
Hello. Thank you for having me.
Of course.
This is one of my favorite subjects to talk about.
So, Nicole, will you first tell us a little bit of background information on how autism impacts your life and your family's life?
Well, I have a couple of kids, and I just noticed there was something just a little bit off about my son, and I just went and just in coordination with his pediatrician, just made sure I documented my experiences with him. And then there's a pretty extensive process of testing to find out that my kiddo was on the spectrum, but actually we got him involved in early intervention is the key, and we got him involved in a program at Oakland, in Oakland County, at Scotch Elementary here in West Bloomfield. And he's been thriving ever since. And I've been teaching. I'm also a health and wellness coach, and also a yoga teacher. So that's when I started my my education and what I could do in my field that would help my son just kind of self-regulate. So that's one of the reasons.
And Nicole, can we talk a little bit about what World Autism Month means to you to be able to dedicate this time and advocate and teach others about autism and how the people that are diagnosed with it are impacted?
Well, it is a special month, and I think we should use this time to really celebrate our kids and their special skills in autism. And there's several Facebook groups, but I am part of a Facebook group that we showcase our son's skills. So I just showcase my son and I doing yoga. He's really good at headstands and inversions, and we actually do a lot of, they're called mudras, which is just yoga for your hands, and it helps with kids, and it helps bring their brain together, brings the right and left side of their brain together for them to help self-regulate and control their impulses and regulate their emotions. So, and I'm also working with the Jewish Community Center. They have a special needs department, and we also participate in yoga with special needs kids there as well. And it's just one of the things that they can feel proud about. It helps build confidence, and it's really time we showcase our kids and their special gifts to the world.
And Nicole, your passion in health and wellness has allowed you to help those with autism through yoga. Can you tell us a little bit about some of the different programs that you have done with those who are diagnosed with autism?
Well, I've actually been a part of my kiddos' classes from the very, very beginning. at Chico Elementary, Doherty Elementary, middle school, they kind of kick you out around that time. But every single class, every single week, pre-pandemic, and I hope to be back in the schools, but all kids can get benefits from their yoga practice with in the classroom. And there's, believe me, after you kind of know the signs, some kids probably haven't been diagnosed or haven't gone through the process that show signs of special needs.
And Nicole, could you talk a little bit about how yoga and how you figured out that yoga is beneficial to those children who are diagnosed with autism and on the spectrum? What types of mental and physical practices and capabilities does yoga bring to those kids who have autism?
Well, I know when my kiddo gets a little bit out of sorts or upset, I ask him to do certain things, and you start to train the brain to regulate. And he goes back to those things, just like in social work in school. They teach you to go to maybe count to 10, or what are the things that help calm you. And yoga is just part of that tool basket that we use to help our kids feel better about themselves, to calm themselves down, and to regulate their thoughts, their feelings, their emotions, and it determines how they proceed forward, how they learn, and they can do poses, they can do, we call them mudras, different forms of hand yoga that we do in class, and they actually help either regulate their mood, either bring them down or even bring them up.
Thank you again to Nicole Ferguson for joining us on the Splash Live and telling us a little bit about how autism has impacted her family and those great yoga classes that she is doing to help people diagnosed with autism learn about their emotions and how to regulate those. For all that information and how to get involved with those yoga classes for people diagnosed with autism, you can contact Nicole Ferguson or the Jewish Family Services to get those classes and get those booked. Before we wrap up the show today, we're going to be looking at our QR code for the Person of the Week. Again, this QR code is easy to scan on your cell phone and to fill out the Google form. It will have some information on the person's name, their contact information, and reasons why you think they should be recognized here on the Splash Live for a Person of the Week. This is someone that we highlight every week that is impacting our community here in Greater West Bloomfield. Whether they're a student, an educator, a business, or organization, if you have someone in mind, you can participate by scanning that QR code on the screen and filling out the Google form to have them highlighted here on the Splash Live. That's going to do it for today's show. Thank you again to Suzanne Levine for joining us on the Splash Live this morning to talk about some of those tips with networking and how to make a good first impression as we're getting back into in-person events. A special thanks to our Zoom producer, Jared Clark, for coordinating the Zoom and making sure our guests joined us. As always, a huge thank you to Calvin Brown, our board operator and director, for making this show possible each and every weekday morning. And thank you for joining me as we explored all of the people and events in our Greater West Bloomfield community. As always, you can make sure to tune in live on Civic Center TV on Comcast Channel 15 and AT&T Channel 99 Monday through Friday at 9:30 to catch up on what's going on in our Greater West Bloomfield community. You can also watch our show every morning on My Michigan TV. It's a new streaming service that covers all of the great people and events happening around Michigan. If you're interested in that, you can head over to mymytv.com or download the My Michigan TV app for your smartphone and smart TV. You can also check out all of our archived stories and interviews by visiting civiccentertv.com and follow us on YouTube, Twitter, and Instagram at Civic Center TV and Facebook at Civic Center TV 15. For all of our friends in Orchard Lake, Sylvan Lake, Kego Harbor, and West Bloomfield, I'm Maddie Mushton. Thank you for watching The Splash Live.